Perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today for our monthly coffee chat. As Aigerim already mentioned, we will have the recording of the coffee chat, and as always, we will make sure to post it online. So for the next ones or for the previous ones, if you have not had a chance to watch the previous coffee chats. Till now, we've had 2 coffee chats on different topics. You can go to our YouTube channel, and I'll make sure to include that in our email afterwards, so you can watch the previous ones. But about today, today we're very, very happy to welcome on our coffee chat Dr. Irina Senņikova, who is the Vice President of CEEMAN and the Acting Rector at RISEBA. Today we're going to talk about strategies for standing out in the highly competitive world of management education. Besides that, as always, if it's your first time joining, I will kind of review the rules. You can write any questions that you have in the chat box. We'll make sure to ask the questions. And at the end, after Dr. Irina finishes her speech, then we can have an open conversation. So you can either keep your questions for the end or just put it in the chat box. Again, thank you so much for joining, and I will pass the floor to Dr. Irina.
Hello, everybody, dear colleagues. It's my pleasure to greet you on Good Friday. And many of us already started preparing for the Easter holiday. In fact, in Latvia, it is a day off. So we are already busy dealing with preparing cakes, Easter cakes, baking bread. So in full swing. Besides, in Latvia, all of a sudden, summer came out of the cold. It's really nice out. I won't call my speech or my talk a speech, because I really would like to stick to the concept of a conversation. And I think it's really good. Aigerim, I really just look at you, just good initiative that we can meet in an innovative format, in a new way that probably nobody does it, and discuss things. And when I was offered to talk about some issues which are relevant to our schools, and when I had to choose the topic, I really started thinking, what would it be, what interests me as a leader of the university, also as a vice president of CEEMAN when our schools come together. And I really was thinking that we operate in a very regulated environment. Education is the industry when everybody have a stake on one hand, but then we also have national accreditation authorities, ministries. We have certain standards for many, in many countries, even intended learning outcomes for the programs are being identified at a national level. So we have, and on top of it, we also have international accreditations. We have CEEMAN, EFMD, ASCSB, AMBA, that we have to comply with standards. And management education as such is quite standardized. There is even a phrase which says that accreditation kills innovation. But then, what do? Should we be all the same? That whenever student choose to go for certain degree, as a bachelor, master, MBA, doctoral, he or she will get the same if it's business management? And probably the answer would be no. But the question is really, how do we stand out of the crowd? What points of differentiation can we have? How are we different? And I would like to refer to the article which I read some years ago. I think the author was Sharif. It is either Harvard Business Review. When he was talking, the author of the article was talking about business schools differentiation and comparing them with car brands. And if I remember it correctly, Harvard Business School was compared with Rolls-Royce. stability, tradition, size, grand car. Whereas Stanford Business School was compared with Aston Martin, innovation. And they are quite innovative in their behavior. London Business School, as a British brand, was compared with Jaguar. So modern, very British brand. And if we use car metaphors, and we all drive cars, different cars, but we then have to be, so we drive different cars. And all cars also have to comply with certain standards. They are the vehicle, they have also just regulations in terms of their emissions, safety regulations, and so on and so forth. But still, the cars also are different. And then us as business schools, management schools, also what metaphors, who are we as schools? And in fact, quite recently, 2 years ago, at RISEBA University in Latvia, we're having our brainstorming session, and our vice rector, who is now vice rector of research and development, but who is also professor of marketing, also took us through the exercise, looking at our brand and how we communicate ourselves. And we try to define what brands do we associate ourselves in our behavior. In talking about cars, we said we are more like Lexus, still keeping to traditions, but more mobile, quite comfortable, but also with innovation touch. Or we also refer to Chanel as a brand, which also classics. There is always small, nice black dress, but there are lots of new products coming with Chanel as well, in cosmetics, in any other sense. So we said that we have to be classic to some extent, but also innovative, always thinking of something new. And also, but years back, and Latvia is very competitive market. We have population of less than 2 million people, but about 50 different types of business and management educators, higher education. So how do you differentiate? And years back also, we chose our motto for differentiation, and it is, if I had our school logo, it also will be in my Zoom background. We decided that we are the university where business meets art. We're now also integrating technology, and we also write just business, art, and technology. But then the question is, how do you do it? Is it just a notion, or do you integrate it in your activities? And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that all students, and we have business school, we have School of Media and Creative Technologies, and we have a School of Architecture. On one hand, we also, as part of our program portfolio, we have business and art. And in our cases also, we have accredited fields of studies, which is in our system, we accredit not programs, but field of studies as part of national accreditation. And we have business and management, and we have art. And we try to integrate it in whatever we're doing. We try to integrate it in our strategy. We try to integrate it into our programs, and we try to make sure that also students experience benefits from all the fields. And of course, it is challenging. It is challenging in terms of planning. It is challenging in terms of the curriculum. And what we're trying to do now, from fragmentation, we're really trying to make it consistent and making it part of the curriculum. that the students would have joint project as part of the curriculum, rather than different types of ad hoc things. But then also, when we, and this also many schools, or you can jump in and we say, what is your point of differentiation? Have you thought of it? And you tell, if you want to jump in now, just you can say, or we can leave it for the later. But also what we are noticing nowadays, and oh, by the way, also schools differentiate through accreditations. This is another point of differentiation. And you will have many schools also as part of our CEEMAN community, those who have Triple Crown accreditations. Yeah, and then you will have CEEMAN, you will have EFMD, you will have AMBA, you will have ACSB. Is it, again, a point of differentiation? Is the investment worth it, or it is done for some other purposes? And how do you comply with different accreditation standards? Of course, they're all similar, but still, and it would be interesting also to talk to our members like Kazminski University. Now I think that there is another institution from Poland, what's called Higher School of Economics, I guess. They just recently received also ASSB. Does it make institutions different if you have Triple Crown? Or it just shows that you are really reaching all the standards? But also, many of us can decide that we can differentiate through strategic partnerships, double degree programs, that when the students are encouraged to get 2 degrees during the studies. Years back, it was unique, but again, many schools are doing that. Then we really have to say, what is the purpose of double degree? What is the value? And I don't see all the colleagues, what countries are you from? When we, years back, like 30 years ago, when we were starting double degree programs, for us, it was used as a development point, and the number of outgoing students were much higher than the number of incoming students. But what we're seeing now, the tendency is totally the opposite. The number of ingoing students are much higher. And the students which are coming also to get our degree, they come from Western countries, not necessarily from countries from like post-Soviet Union countries, or yeah, we have double degrees with Cage Business School, with Regensburg University in Germany, Cage Business School in France, and they also go to get our degree. Then the question might be, what value would be for the French students or German students to have on top of their own degree, French degree, to have a degree from Latvia? And I think that internationalization is becoming the key point, and when the students go into the job markets, it makes them more employable. They also can demonstrate they've been through different cultural experiences. They studied in a different environment, in a different setting, and also bringing the insights of different type of markets, right? Which is different. We have to agree. I don't know also how it's in your countries, but we also have to be aware that due to geopolitical tensions, many things that we've been traditionally doing also have changed. That we had to terminate many of our existing partnerships, and also many of our international markets where we were recruiting students also are not there any longer. So we cannot have students from Belarus, we cannot have students from Russia. We have students from Ukraine, but they're different type of students. It's not that straightforward. And then if we look also, but the number of international students, say, for example, in Latvia is growing. But what we are seeing that the population of foreign students is changing. And you will be surprised, or probably maybe not, you will be surprised that the biggest majority of international students who come now to Latvia is students from India. And somehow they discovered Central and Eastern Europe and also choose it as their destination, probably for different reasons. But we also really have to find, and again, they go to different universities, and some offer more expensive programs, some offer less expensive programs. Then also how to make sure that these Indian students choose your university, not because you are the cheapest one, but even maybe your most expensive one, but you can offer something they cannot get in other institutions or in other countries. And I think that also different tendencies in student mobility show that students are looking not only for specific education, but they are also looking for experience. And what experience can we offer to the students? It also really matters. Cultural, educational environment where the students are studying. And I think this is also the point when we really can differentiate. If we talk about CEEMAN accreditation, can CEEMAN as a brand be used as a differentiation point? I think, yes, in this respect, that if we really think of what are the key issues, what CEEMAN is looking for, say, when, for example, accrediting schools. So, and now just we position CEEMAN first as a management development association for dynamic societies, and basically looking for three main things when the school have to demonstrate not only just general standards, but dynamism. How can we adapt to external challenges? How mobile, how agile we are as institutions? Relevance, to what extent our education offering is relevant to the market needs, to business companies we are providing our programs, and excellence, and to what extent whatever we do also meet certain standards, because accreditation is in fact just that, making sure that you meet certain standards. So this I see as point of how we can differentiate, integrating it into our strategies. But then I invite you to the open talk, questions, discussion, and sharing your ideas. How do you do it, and how we can learn from each other? Anybody would like? I don't want to mispronounce your name.
Zina Kyriakou from IES Strasbourg, France. Honestly, we have also other points maybe to mention, that if we want to expect and to welcome Chinese and Indians in our campuses here in Europe, we have also a challenge with the visa. Nowadays, visa is becoming really problematic because they again, I don't want to enter in this debate. Politicians, they link students to immigration. It's kind of immigration, they say. So it's becoming really difficult to get a visa. But I think I don't see it. I see the challenge, but I see it as an opportunity as educator. We need to be really innovative, as you mentioned, and also not only innovative, joint venture with other universities. And you know, we have strengths, Europeans, Indians, or Central European countries, or Chinese, or even Southeast Asia. They have also other, brilliant domain. So we need to do joint venture together. This is how we need to go for new business model. This is what we are doing now. We were invited to participate in one of the conference. So what we are doing is joint venture in publishing, and also maybe in case writing, training. So the students need to see the excellence of both institutions, and this is the added value for them. You know what I mean? So for sure, we have to create a new business model and go for blue ocean strategy instead of going to red ocean where all the universities are fighting to get the students.
Absolutely, absolutely agree. And I also agree with visa issues. But we also have to be fair, maybe just to immigration authorities, but because many of students are using Europe as their trampoline to, say, Eastern Europe and Central Europe as a trampoline to the Western world. And we also noticed they prepare quite well for the interview, because I think they have agents who really drills them. But when you start interviewing them and giving questions out of the ordinary, and you can hear panic, and you can see panic. Yeah, we have to be selective, but I absolutely agree that also we have to look at different business models.
And Irina, I think what you mentioned, accreditation for sure, but I think also attending CEEMAN conference, it's a great added value, not only for participants in terms of educator, of speaker, it's also for the student to see how CEEMAN is doing brilliant conferences, bringing all top speakers, and they can learn out of it. They can network. They can also do maybe joint venture in terms of entrepreneur for student entrepreneurs and so on. So I think also we need to highlight on CEEMAN conferences. You understand my point? So also this is my plan for this year, to bring also with me PhD students from different parts, not only Europeans, my international students. Those are really promoters, you understand, in their countries about the conference, about the take, what they are taking with them from the conference. And this will be really added value. This is how I see it.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. It might be just, we can even think, Aigerim, that maybe within CEEMAN we can think of some event for students.
Yeah.
I was just taking notes. Thank you so much. I was just taking notes to see if we can do something for the students of our network. Yeah.
Irina, honestly, because Danica mentioned in the last conference that the person who is hosting us is also in travel and tourism, and he's building Albania. So if we have candidates, entrepreneurs, PhD with this background, with high position, they can also join, they can also participate, and they will be added value that we are not only emphasizing on, professors, on, what I mean? No, students, they have to take part of this conference. This is how I can see it, and this is a great opportunity. I'm attending, CEEMAN since long time, since 2015. And I always recommend to my network, you know what I mean? Because I'm attending also other conferences. This is really great added value, you understand, in terms of networking, building relationship, the speaker, learning out of them and so on. So this is also 3 days of learning for the candidates.
But I think that we're also underutilizing
Definitely
the opportunities offered by our network.
Definitely.
That we can be more active on one-to-one collaboration, or several on one, or we can really also think of different business models within schools as part of which are part of CEEMAN network.
Irina, we need to be like Americans, into marketing, into storytelling, into, visualizing video. This is how they do it. I'm sorry. I mean, they have done it because of that, and they reach the world. Now it's time for us also to show that our competencies, our excellence is there. So we need to show it to the world.
Yeah, I agree. Humbleness, not always good. And storytelling also, we really have to, because we do things, but quite often we take them for granted. We do not emphasize, and we do not share. because we say, oh, it's normal thing, say business as usual. And in this respect, probably just we have to be less humble. I agree.
And there is a great potential in one area, and I think we are not really focusing on this area, is the GCC, the Gulf countries, where Qatar is doing a brilliant work, where Saudi Arabia is doing really brilliant work. And last week I was attending one of the conferences in Kuwait on sustainability. You see, so again, we are missing sometimes to have candidates from this part of the world and institution, but I mean, they are always also progressing, you know what I mean? So why not to have them also with us?
Exactly. And as far as I know, also in Qatar, so developing quite fast, they really face the shortage of workforce. And for us, it's also, it can be totally new markets.
Definitely. I mean, I know someone who is managing one of the top company in Qatar in terms of catering, you know what I mean? They have now opening in Kazakhstan. So it will be brilliant for business school in Kazakhstan to send their team. You understand? So we need, it's not only for totally agree education conferences, you know, publication, but also we need to think about jobs, because nowadays we will be facing also challenges of finding job for our undergrad, for our master students.
One of the questions which was also sent before today's conversation was related to MBA program or MBA versus specialized masters. And the question was whether MBA programs are becoming too generic nowadays. And do you differentiate as part of MBA program, or specialized masters might be more relevant in this respect? What do you think? Would you like to share something?
I think we have a hand raised from Sunchita.
Yes, never mind. But yes, I just wanted to add to the discussion on accreditation. What does accreditation mean, and why we are really entering these processes? because they are very time-consuming, very expensive, and all other things. And I think that what is good and how we look at the accreditations. I had a conversation with, first to maybe tell something about my school. We are coming from Croatia. I'm coming from Osijek. Osijek is north part of Croatia, not at the coast, Adriatic coast. I am a vice dean at Faculty of Economics and Business.
Znamo Hrvatsku i malo govorim hrvatski.
Okay, nice. Yeah, but usually people know Croatia by the coast and the beautiful coast, but we have other parts also. And we are like fourth city by size, fourth university, public university by size also in Croatia. And of course, as all others in Europe, we are struggling and starting to feel or see these demographic trends and all other actually trends and challenges that are in our environment. And we had CEEMAN accreditation from 2011. And this year we just got information that we are again reaccredited, and we are very happy about it. But we also started to think about EFMD and the ACSB accreditation. Not because we think that they will bring us a student, we doubt it, because our students are majority of our students are coming from our region, and it will stay like it is. Probably it will stay, maybe on some higher level at some really specialized programs, maybe, but we are regional school. But we are looking at accreditation as a tool to change, as a way to make us better, to help our students, what Zina said, to be more employable, to see what to help us differentiate from others in our region. We cannot compete with some schools in London or in bigger and much richer, we can say, cities and environments, but we are really looking at this accreditation as a tools and means to change us as teachers and professors, as researchers, to help us network. And especially you also mentioned double degrees and joint degrees program. It is something that we can use out of these processes and networks. And as public university, I don't know, some of you are coming from private universities, and it is sometimes easier to make change. At public universities, you sometimes, it's almost, no, I wouldn't say impossible, but it is hard. We are all professors, have our contracts with actually ministry, but how to persuade people that they need to change, it is when someone from outside tells, or if they see that all others are doing similar things, and it is really helping us to change minds of people, or to raise awareness of like programs in English, or how to attract foreign students. So actually the accreditation is not the goal. And what also Zina said, what is also very important, why we are not using all opportunities that those processes or accreditations are giving to us, because sometimes we are looking at these processes as a goal just to get this accreditation, but it's not the goal to get accreditation. The goal is really to make a network, to learn out of it, to use all opportunities, and to make our institutions become better ones in our local surroundings, environments, etc. So it is what I just wanted for the beginning to say.
Yeah. My point is also always say that any accreditation process makes institution better.
Yeah.
It mobilizes people. You have to work, you have to look at the processes, what you are doing, how you are doing. You have to talk to your stakeholders.
Yeah, and sometimes if someone from outside tells you, you need to do this differently, or it is the good, whatever, it is your weak point or something, it's sometimes easier to accept it than if someone from your institutions tells you need to do this and it. Why? We are all the same. How do you know that we need to change? But if someone from outside of institutions with a different perspective, then somehow people start to think, at least start to think and believe that maybe we need to change and do things differently.
Absolutely. Anybody else would like to contribute? Zina. Now I'm okay with your name.
Honestly, I want to share with you that definitely accreditation, it's a quality. Definitely, it's excellent. I don't want to agree more than that. But again, I want to share with you a really scenario what happened with us in a master class. We had a master class and we had a module doing business in Asia. Students that are not expecting to study doing business in Asia only on theory. You understand my point? So because I have a huge network in Asia and in healthcare, the topic was healthcare. So I invited 3 people from Bangkok, from Singapore and Vietnam to build a mini case, a mini project with a problematic to the students and to present, their finding, their solution. For sure, we had a lot of Microsoft Teams with them because they were in Bangkok and we were in France, and we built it. It was a 3 days, 25 hours module. At the end, we presented the project. The board, the people attending the conference who, wrote the case, they were extremely happy with the finding and with the outcome, with the recommendation. 2 of the candidates who were supposed to do an internship applied for an internship in Bangkok with one of the speakers, and they got the internship. So you see, students need to see the outcome, needs to have hands-on. It's not anymore, because this generation is totally different than the generation before. They want to have flexible work hours. They want to travel. You understand my point? So I think we need also to listen what they want. For sure, keeping the quality on the top, but also really understand their wants and needs and their expectations.
Absolutely.
I would like to know if there are any other questions from the participants that maybe we haven't covered yet.
As I said, there was a question related to MBA where there's a specialized masters. Or Evan?
Hi. On the MBA thing, I think from our point of view, I'm in Kazakhstan at Marhaj University. Well, originally from Glasgow in Scotland. On the MBA thing, I think we're a bit sort of black and white on it. MBA is dead, MBA is not dead. What we've done over the last year is sort of enlarge the amount of specialization within the MBA, because in our context, people really need the fundamentals, the core of the MBA. They still need that. But we've enlarged the element of the specialization so that it covers close to half the degree now, if you include the independent work they have to do, research projects and stuff. So I think maybe that's the way, it's a way for us at least. I'd also like to say, given that I'm on, if you like, both sides of the wall in terms of immigration, being in Kazakhstan and originally coming from the UK, I really don't think you should underestimate what a discouraging effect all the debate about the UK, EU, now America, is having on attitudes in this part of the world towards being able to go and study in Europe. So, I mean, in the UK, the numbers have dropped off significantly because the people are being discouraged from even considering it. And to me, I think that's pretty worrying. So as far as CEEMAN is concerned, I think you're in a great position actually, because you also kind of bridge the wall as well, because you have people inside and outside of the EU, and now increasingly around the world. So if you guys in the centre of CEEMAN can think of ways to maybe talk about that issue, because if you don't have the supply of students, you're going to have huge problems. The UK is heading for disaster because of the way it's dealt with international students, and I would like to not see the EU go down the same road. And I think this is a very good forum, by the way, even if I have to run away in a minute. Apologies, I agree. I think it's very good just to have an informal talk, because we don't do it. And the point about accreditation that's been made by several colleagues, it's you get it and then that's it. Yeah. We've been trying with CEEMAN to find partners, and most partners in CEEMAN are very, very slow in responding about exactly the kind of things we've just been talking about. So, and it's the same with other accreditations that I've been involved in. Get it, and then, okay, look, there's 150 other universities. Well, that's very good, then we'll do nothing with them. It's a huge missed opportunity, I think. So, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, sometimes our institutions also have to be more dynamic. Not preaching, but also doing, and being more proactive in this respect. But also talking or referring to accreditations, I think it's also important for the institution to understand which accreditation at which particular point in institution development will serve our needs. Yes. So I don't think that Triple Crown is really, this is what is the goal, but at these different stages, if you look how to manage program better, maybe it is worth looking at FMD program accreditation, because it's really good framework. So if you really have to streamline your processes, maybe it's good to look at ACSB. I think that it really depends on the development needs of the institution.
And this is not for everyone. Yeah. The Triple Crown is not for all schools. It's really for maybe the biggest one, and I agree with whatever you said.
It's also, I totally agree with you. We are kind of on that process at the moment, so going through stages. But there are other people that I know who work in this area who frankly talk nonsense about getting Triple Crown accreditation because it's good for them politically. They say we're going to get Triple Crown accreditation in 5 years, but they know that they'll only be there for 4 years, so they don't really care. So I think if you're serious about it, getting involved with organizations like CEEMAN and some of the other European agencies is very useful. We worked with FIBA in Germany a lot, and that's been very useful for us in terms of quality assurance, internal governance, and program management. It was just what we needed. But there are other people who think, well, we should just be going straight for the holy CSP. It's like, they don't even know what it is, let's be honest. So I think a staged process is exactly the way to go. But I also think we do need to find a way to work together better, because I think everybody's reinventing the wheel all the time. None of us have that much time. And if we could find a way to share our own experiences better through CEEMAN, I think it's potentially a great thing to do. Don't know exactly how we do it, but that's why I'm not sitting in the CEEMAN position. But I'm sure there are ways that we could easily begin to do it, some kind of community of practice kind of idea or something. But I think we're missing a big opportunity because we're all in very different places, but we all have similar problems, I think. So hopefully we can get something moving. I guess it's up to us as what our dear CEEMAN are going to tell us.
I would like to use my another head of the acting rector of RISEBA, and would like to invite you to Riga in May. At the end of May, we have our research conference, which we run jointly with BA School of Business and Finance. And it is devoted, it's research conference, but it's devoted to AI, but human touch. And it's also it's also in CEEMAN platform. When in CEEMAN there is collaboration, have a look. We have also good journals. If you need publication, we'll have special issue of the Journal of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Management, which is part of ABS list of journals, those who know what is required also by authorities. So it's also a publication opportunity. And then we can think of joint projects together as well in different areas, in developing joint programs, double degrees, student mobility, joint research. You also have to be aware that you always can suggest for CEEMAN if you are involved in an interesting project and you would like to extend it. You always have to address the CEEMAN office and say, shouldn't we think of a joint project? And there are different opportunities. We have to be aware that each February there is new call for, the call is ongoing, so I have to say. If you want to submit something in February, we have to think of something now. So what projects which are funded by the Erasmus strategic partnerships, there are lots of opportunities. And we have experience within CEEMAN having such projects. And I think we just have to develop them.
Yes, and can I just add one more thing here? Is that the members of CEEMAN Network also use the newsletters and our website and our social media. When it comes to events and opportunities, they always publish the call for cooperation or call for contributions. So if you're looking for a partner, if you're looking for a certain activity, or maybe even just an individual who specializes in a very unique industry or a very unique topic, you can just reach out to us, and we can always reach out to our members and find that person. I think I have another hand raised for the question. Richard.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I'm a faculty at Saudi Arabia, and I'm based in Al-Kharj, and I appreciate CEEMAN's a lot of involvement, and I've been getting emails from a long time because perhaps I had the opportunity of being one of the winners for 2021, I suppose, business case from CEEMAN and Emerald collaborating together. I'm looking forward, if CEEMAN wants further grooming up the faculties and the students in terms of more involvement in the business cases. So I think there's a lot of opportunities there, because that local content of the Central and Eastern Europe can be brought up, which I think from past 3-4 years more South Asian and more of protagonists are more from the west side, so that's a thing. We have a lot of opportunities for tourism development in Saudi Arabia, so we are looking for some collaboration in tourism marketing sector. So I'd like to be in touch if there's any possibilities. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And do come for our annual conference, which is in Albany this year. This is going to be great.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, we see if it works, definitely we'll try to come and meet you all. Thank you.
And I guess I agree, we still have time for submitting the case studies?
Yes, 30th April is the last date.
Yes. The deadline was extended, so there is still time. And there is also still time for the Champions Awards. And this is exclusive to the members to highlight the best of the best in your team to showcase in teaching, in research, and institutional and responsible management. So please do consider this opportunity to elevate your school's reputation on the international scale.
Anybody would like to share something, to ask questions?
I think here we were asked to share about the conference. So I will send out an email afterwards and I will put all of the links there. So no worries for the recording and every other link about anything that we talked today.
Thank you, Neri. There was also a question sent before relating to graduate readiness in the age of AI, saying the AI is pushing schools to differentiate on human skills, emotional intelligence, adaptability, ethical decision-making. What do you think of that? How you're dealing with AI within your institutions? Can it be used as a point of differentiation?
Before someone would take over, I can just say that we have a special program for that. So I think that we have a special place actually to discuss that. It's our EdTech co-learning. You probably received our letter a few days ago about this little survey that we did, and we received really good feedback. So we are very much motivated to relaunch, let's say, the EdTech co-learning activity this year. So I think that would be in it's 20th of November, 21st of November. So please do put in your calendar and visit us here to have a conversation about the AI. And just to respond to Irina's question, we at CEEMAN also use AI a lot. And it's not just writing prompts, but we also the last conference was basically on AI in Austria. And we used AI to prepare the conference proceedings. So it was all generated and supported by AI with just a little bit of a human intervention, in the sense that to polish the text and to make sure that it's actually all matches what was there in the conference. So, and I must say that we saved a lot of money on that with the AI, with the support of AI. So we do have some other good activities that we do, and I think it's really worth a meeting like that on coffee chats and other activities, so that we actually talk to each other and we just learn from each other.
But in your experience, everybody, the use of AI within the university's business schools, how does it change the processes? Teaching, exams? Because I think as traditional exams, when you give the assignment for student to write, they just lose its peppers nowadays. Because as a professor, you can find yourself grading AI rather than a student. Do you change, or do we get back to our practice, which we used to have as part of Soviet system, but most of the exams were oral?
Yeah, we were thinking about it, but it is possible in smaller groups. If you have 200 students, it is impossible to have oral. But then we also need to learn and accept that AI is out there, and we cannot prevent or forbidden to use it, but we have to learn how to change, to make maybe project-based learning or some other ways of asking questions where students need to have or develop critical thinking. And using AI, I think we need really to talk a lot about responsibility and ethics, because it is only that there are many software where you cannot see is it AI or not, so students really need to use it. We need to teach them how to use it in proper ways, but also help them understand that not everything what they get from AI is first true, good, the best. They need to really develop some other skills, and we need to change our approaches and methods of teaching. And sometimes it's also difficult. People are not ready to change and accept new ways of doing things, I think.
Yeah, but sometimes it's funny how you see the student who is not really very eloquent during the class, but then all of a sudden becomes eloquent in writing.
Yeah, especially, yeah, it's true. We all have probably the same situations and cases, experiences, and struggling with all of this. But maybe this network can help us. We are thinking about writing and making guidelines of using an AI at our school, and we are, of course, collecting what other universities and schools are having and offering. So maybe it is also something that CEEMAN can help to how to really make a good guidance that won't prevent, but help us using AI in really good way to make students and businesses, whatever, be more competitive. Actually, it is something what is our goal. Students will end in some businesses, and they will expect that students know how to use AI in helping business be more efficient, whatever, profit more, make more money or whatever. So it is how we are thinking about it.
Yeah. Pretending that it is not there would not work.
Of course, of course.
Very nice. So if we don't have any other questions, maybe we can wrap up. If anybody has anything else to add, you're welcome to add. If not, I would like to thank everybody for participating today in this discussion. I would like to thank Dr. Irina Senņikova for her amazing, not speech, talk, and her participation. And I believe that these were interesting topics that we discussed today. For later on, as I promised, I will send out an email with all of the links, and we will make sure to keep in touch for our next coffee chat, as we will have another opportunities in the future. Ideally, and usually we do this every once a month. So we will hope to see you next month with a different topic and maybe different speakers. And we will discuss some other either issues or anything like that that would be interesting for you. If you will have any suggestions on the topics or people that you would like to hear, you're always welcome to let us know. And yes, thank you all so much.
And I would like to wish you all happy Easter. So this is the time where it's a rare case when all Christian confessions celebrated together.
Yes.
Lutheran, Catholic, Russian Orthodox, so it's Greek Orthodox. So big festivities this year.
Yes. Thank
Happy
you.
Easter.
Bye-bye.
Happy Easter to everyone. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye.
Goodbye.